Hey, what's up everybody? Thanks for clicking on the video. My name is David and welcome to my investing channel. I challenge you today to listen to this video in its entirety because I put a lot of thought into what I want to explain today. And I think if you're watching it, one, you're interested in cryptocurrency and possibly making money off of it, which is going to be the goal. So I'm going to break this down in very simple terms. I'm not going to be like a lot of other people on YouTube who go into crazy analytics. They show you all these charts and they're going to bring up a lot of words and terminology that you may not be familiar with. My goal is to teach you along the way what cryptocurrency is, how it's being used in the world right now, and what will happen when it becomes mass adopted, meaning that more and more and more people and countries are using cryptocurrency, okay? So again, I'm not gonna make this complicated. I'm gonna make this very easy to follow along with. I also think that when people hear the word cryptocurrency, they shy away from it because they don't understand. And we need to know that all of our money that we use always has like a different cycle, okay? And what I mean by that is we always go through different phases of currency. We used to write checks for products. I can remember being a kid and my mom going to the grocery store and she pays by a check, or she sends a check in for the electric bill. She pays her rent with a check, all right? That wasn't a good way to do business. It was the best that we had back then, right? But one, you have to send it in the mail, which takes a few days to get there. Then, the person has to go and cash it and hope that the funds are there. So we needed a better way to pay, right? Obviously, cash is king. Cash is the best way to pay, but it's not always the most feasible. You're not going to drive down to your electric company. You're not going to drive down to, whoever finances your car and pay in cash. So the next evolution was debit card and credit card, a faster way to pay and a more reliable way to pay with a debit card, because then the merchant, the person that you're paying, knows that you have the money. It's either approved or declined. Credit cards, okay, not good for the merchant though, because they're taking a risk, right? They might be giving you goods that you default on later. So if you have a credit card through Visa, Capital One, Discover, whatever the point may be, they're basically fronting the money in hopes, in good faith, based off your credit history, that you're going to pay. But there's nothing to stop you from maxing out your credit card, going and filing bankruptcy, and then leaving it to the people to just kind of eat their loss, right? Which is why there are things like interest and things of that nature. Cryptocurrency is next, okay? It's already being used by some places. It's in its infancy stages. We're going to get there, but digital currency and cryptocurrency is just a faster way at the end of the day to make payments. Is something that can be used on a global scale. We can all be under the same currency. So if I wanted to pay somebody with my cryptocurrency that lives in Europe, we don't have to sit here and worry about going through exchange rates and swapping out my currency for their currency and paying fees along the way. This is going to be the evolution of money, and it is coming. But one thing I want to challenge you on is you do not need to know how it works in order to make good, solid investments. And that's what it's all about. And how do I say that? Why don't you need to know how it works? Well, what if, for example, somebody in 1980, maybe you would have come across some hearsay, YouTube and things like that weren't out in that time. But what if you would have came across, a magazine or a newspaper article that talked about a company called Apple, and Apple's vision as a company was to at one day make a phone that you can have portable, right? You can get the internet on the go, and the internet wasn't even a thing back then. I'm just giving you like their long-term vision and what they did as a company. But what if somebody would have told you, or you read an article, that Apple would be a good company to invest in? Ask yourself, do you really need to know how an iPhone works? Do you really need to know how a computer works? Do you really need to know how your Apple Watch works and connects to the network, and how your text messages get from one person sending it to you to your device? No, the answer is no, and you probably don't even know how all that works, and neither do I, and I work in that industry. I have a much better knowledge base than most people, but all we know is this company is completing their goals along the way, right? And they have a lot more stuff they want to do. But had you invested in them in the early stages, then you'd be a millionaire. You wouldn't be watching this video right now, right? Depending on how much stock that you bought in Apple. And that's the point of cryptocurrency. We're still in the beginning stages of crypto. There are companies out there that are going to make people like you and I, hopefully millionaires, if we pick the right investments. But of course, any investment, whether it's the stock market or the cryptocurrency market, comes with risk, it comes with volatility. But my job is to teach you along the way of what I think are good investments. What do I think is going to pan out and why, without going through all the nuts and bolts of everything. But for example, I mean, look at Apple stock history. If you would have, bought into them in 1980 when they first came out, you'd be up 33,000%, it looks like, on your money. So we don't have to be the smartest person in the world to understand that had we picked a company like them, that we would be extremely profitable with our money today. And I want you to keep in mind that it's not just Apple, right? Cryptocurrency and other products, they work hand in hand with other companies. An iPhone or a smartphone in general will not work without the technology or the networks behind it to power that device. There are chips, there are computer boards, there are cameras. You have companies, cell phone companies like Verizon. You have chip manufacturers. You have camera manufacturers. There are so many different companies that go into making these products work. I mean, shoot, what if you would invested into all of them, right, along the way? And that's also how cryptocurrency works, and I think a lot of people don't know that. They think cryptocurrency is just a way to pay for something, but it's so far beyond that. A lot of these companies work together on what's called the blockchain network. I'm not getting into blockchain or what it is, because that's something that you can research on your own, and you really don't have to know what it is in order to be successful. Okay, so what am I going to do in this video today? I am going to go through 5 different cryptocurrencies that can be bought right now very easily, that range anywhere from, a nickel up to 33, 34 bucks. So I'm going to focus on 2 cryptos that are under 15 cents to buy per coin or token. I'm going to focus on one that is around $2, then I'm going to focus on 2 that are trading between 20 to 35 bucks. We'll see where they're at in real time. The first one I want to talk about is Ada. Okay, it trades under ADA. This is a really good solid token, but it's still in the infancy stages of a company because they've only been around since September of 2020. And I actually made a video solely on this company for my first investment video that I did. The one thing that I really like about Ada is it's extremely cheap to invest in. How cheap is it? Well, let's take a look right here. So if I go to this website and then I type in Ada, or I'm sorry, AMP. I'm crazy. I'm talking about AMP right now. We're going to get to Ada later. This is AMP token. So if I type in AMP, we can see right now that it's trading at 0.045. So that means it's less than 5 cents a share in US dollars. Now, if I take a look at the 1-year chart of this company, keeping it very simple for everybody, you're going to see that 1 year ago in October, okay, let's just pick a date. So way back here, October 12th, which I think is exactly 1 year ago, they were trading for 0.005 cents. So now we're talking about a sliver of a penny. And then the chart is moving up. It's moving up very nicely here. And you see, we get to this area here where we're almost to a penny, and then we go down a little bit more, and then we get closer and closer and closer. And then we go down a little bit. This is okay, right? So for somebody like me and you, what I am looking to do is gain money in the future, not in the short term. I don't have, $5,000 to buy this coin today and get a whole bunch and then hope it goes to 6 cents tomorrow and then cash it out and then rebuy when it goes low. I'm not here to do the buy and sell game. It takes too much time and it's too stressful. I'm here to try to buy at these pockets, right? So we never want to buy up here. We would never ever want to purchase a coin when it's at its all-time high, like when it's up here at around 12 cents a share. or a coin. We always want to buy the dips. That's the hardest part, though, is to understand when the highs and lows are going to come. And that's what I do. I'm the one who sits here and listens to a lot of podcasts and YouTube videos, and I research the market so that you don't have to, so that I can kind of explain to you what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, what hype is coming around, what partnerships are coming for these companies that might cause these spikes. And then when a lot of people buy, we see a lot of selling too, which is why, we have these dips. But this is normal, all right? I don't wake up day to day and look at the price and freak out if I bought it 6 cents and now it's down to 4.5. I don't worry about that because, again, I'm looking for long term. At the end of the day, if AMP is still around 5 years from now, which we hope it is, it should because it has good utility, we're going to be looking at a lot more than than a nickel. I'm just going to make it easy and say a nickel, even though it's less. So the goal is to hopefully get this coin to $1. And if you do your own research, there are a lot of experts who are very good in this industry that believe that this coin or token will hit $1 by the year 2028 to 2030. So we're only talking about, 6 to 8 years down the road. So maybe you can learn this way. And I'm spending a little bit more time on these first ones just to give you an idea of what I'm looking at. Let's say that you get paid every 2 weeks and that you can safely say that I want to invest $25 into AMP, right? So if we have $25 to spend right now and we are buying at 0.045 cents per token, we will get 555 tokens for only $25. If we were able to fast forward time, and if AMP is still around and they're executing on, their goals as a company, let's say they're worth $1, then, this is easy math. You have 555 tokens. If it's at $1 a token, you have $555 that you could cash out if you wanted to. And that was all off a $25 investment. Let's say that you did this for 1 year and we were able to pick the points where it's always trading at a nickel. So if we were to do this $25, right, and we got paid every 2 weeks, that's 26 paychecks, we would have invested $650 into this token. And let's say that we're buying at an average of a nickel a piece. Let me do that again here. So $25 times 26 weeks. So $650 is what we have spent. That means we're going to have 13,000 tokens by the end of that time frame, by the end of that year. So again, that could be worth just a ton of money based off a very little amount. And that's what I'm looking to do. If you want to know what AMP does, basically they're a collateral token. So when you pay for something right now with Bitcoin, it takes a long time for that purchase to go through. AMP is going to be the collateral there. They're going to give the merchant the coins or the money up front to make it easier. And then when that Bitcoin transaction finally goes through, then the AMP coins are released back to the company AMP. And there's a little bit of behind the scenes that go. But the reason why cryptocurrency isn't mass adopted right now is because Bitcoin transactions take forever to go through. And this is how they work together. AMP is a collateral company that fronts that says, hey, it's good to go. And when that Bitcoin transaction finally goes through, the Bitcoin is transferred to the merchant, and then the merchant transfers the AMP back. And that all happens automatically, okay? So that's the first one I want to focus on is AMP. I think they're awesome. I think they have a lot of potential, and it's an opportunity that we can buy into a company that is very, very early. Next one I want to talk about is VeChain. I think VeChain is a super cool company because they do a lot, and for what they're trading at right now, I even like them more than I do AMP. So let's type in VeChain, which trades under VET, V-E-T, just like a place you would take your animal to. Or animals too. And let's see what they're going for right now. So they're going for 10 cents. So they're going for a dime, okay, essentially. Let's also take a look at the 1 year chart because, again, I'm a long-term investor. So back here a year ago, again, they're trading at, call it about a penny. And now today, they're worth 10 cents. So think about if you were able to hand somebody 1 penny and they gave you a dime back in return. That's incredible. How many pennies would you scrounge up to get a dime back every time that you did it. And that's realistically what we're looking at with this company. And you're going to see here the ebbs and flows of the chart. They go up and down. This is just normal in the stock market and cryptocurrency market. This is always driven by hype. It's always driven by new partnerships. It's always driven by their summits. All this type of stuff, these high and lows, they're just driven, by talk and what we think is going to happen. That's just how it works. But at the end of the day, I think VeChain is going to be something that's going to be a really good token to invest in. And here's why. If you don't know what they do, basically they're designed to enhance supply chain management and business processes. So their whole goal is to basically streamline processes and procedures and information flow for complex supply chains. So what does that mean, like in the real world? So basically they track quality, storage temperatures, transportations, and delivery of products. So here's what I mean. Let's say, for example, you own a pharmacy company and you're buying medication off your supplier, and that medication has to be stored in, let's say, 0-degree temperature, or else the medication is no good. Well, how do you know that the supplier is actually fulfilling their promise to store that correctly in transit? So once it leaves their warehouse or their facility, how do you know that that's being properly stored at 0-degree temperature by the time it gets to your facility? How do you know their truck didn't break down? How do you know their coolers didn't break down and they're hiding it on the back end from you? That's where a company like VeChain comes into play, because what they do is they use RFID tags and sensors that basically track all that information in real time. And you can log into your system and view that temperature of that medication is proper. It can't be tampered with. It can't be altered with, because if it was, it would alert you. It would let you know that something wrong is happening. Think about the peace of mind that can deliver to a business through this type of technology. So they're able to do all of this tracking for you. They're able to use the sensors. Those sensors are going to broadcast all the key information that you want onto a blockchain network that can be accessed in real time by the stakeholders, and the stakeholders being you, the person who is using it. I think that's awesome. So they're a great company. They solve a lot of real world problems. So keep in mind that a company like VeChain is being used out there right now as we speak by major companies that some of us do business with on a weekly basis. So to get in on a company like this right now, that's only 10 cents a share, it has so much good potential that I think VeChain is going to be here for the long haul. I really do. I like the company. I think they got a solid background of what they're wanting to accomplish. And for me, I can afford 10 cents. It's something that I can do. And I think that probably you can as well. It's just about how many dimes do we have laying around to try to maybe hit a home run 5-10 years from now. Hopefully this thing is, hitting $5 a coin, and we're trading now at 10 cents. So how many dimes can we turn into $5? That would be awesome. One thing that I would say as I go through this video, and I only have 3 more coins to talk about, you need to be advised that, all the content that I'm going out of right now is my personal opinion. It's intended for general information purposes only. You need to do your own research before you invest, because I'm not a financial advisor. So just keep that in mind, that this is me giving my opinion on these companies and what I think is a good investment. The next one that I want to talk about, this is going to bring us to Cardano Ada. This is the one that I was actually calling AMP earlier. Cardano is probably one of the most hyped cryptocurrencies in the market today for a few different reasons. I made a video about them already once, which you can find on my channel. But they are founded by Charles Hoskinson, who is the co-founder of Ethereum, which is one of the biggest players behind Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency space. Cardano is an incredible company that basically focuses on smart contracts, but they do so much more. If you don't know what a smart contract is, basically it's an agreement between 2 people in the form of computer code. So instead of shaking hands, it's all done through computer code. it runs on the blockchain, and then they're stored on a public database that cannot be changed. That's always the thing when it comes to contracts. Nobody on a blockchain network can erase it. It's there. It's public for anybody to see. And then once the agreement is made between the two parties, then it's automatically done without a third party being involved. So again, it cuts out middlemen. It cuts out people who can alter paper documents. It cuts out people who can alter computer documents. This is all done automatically. It's an agreement between two different parties, and Cardano is there to be the leader in this space. And I really believe that they will be. Let's again take a look at the chart when it comes to Cardano and take a look at how this company is doing. And I really think you're going to be blown away with their success. So we take a look at Cardano, which trades under ADA. That's how you look them up. So if we take a look at the chart here, you see that they're down today, and that's great for somebody like me because, again, like I said, I'm not in it for the day to day. I want to buy when it's red. When it's red, we need to treat that as if things are going on sale. So to me, this is a crypto sale. It's a great time to invest because I want to keep my costs down on my entry point. So for example, let's take it the 1 year. Let's take a look at maybe a 3-month chart. All right. So 3-month chart. Look at this. If you would invest in Cardano back in, early July or late July, it was only $1.30, $1.25 a coin. And then it spikes up here because we get a lot of hype about smart contracts. And then we get a super spike all the way up to $3 because, again, there's more smart contracts. There's partnerships that are being talked about. There's a lot of hype. So there's a lot of things that are driving the cost up. For me, I don't buy up here, all right? I don't buy up here. I try to buy down here. I try to buy the dips. Now, the hardest thing to do is to make sure or to time out the highs from the lows. And that's a difficult part when it comes to buying and investing in stocks or cryptos in general is you never know when the high is going to stop. What if this $3 would have shot all the way up to $10? Well, then I'd have been kicking myself in the butt for not buying during the $3 market, right? But I do a lot of research. I listen to a lot of YouTube, and I just listen to a lot of podcasts, and I try to absorb as much information. And there was a lot of people saying, hey, don't buy up here because we think that we're going to see a dip. And here's why we think that we're going to see a dip. And I'm not going to go into all that because I want to keep this for the average person. But I took that advice and we wait for it to go down. And then I buy in around here again where it's only $2 a coin. So my goal is to always buy low. And then in the long term, when we fast forward time, 5-10 years from now, we're not going to worry about if I bought in at $2.50, 3 days ago, and it went down to $2.14. I'm not worried about losing that 40 cents because if this coin is worth $10 in 2 years, we didn't lose any money at all. We can only lose money if a company goes bankrupt or belly up. So always keep that in mind. Is that a possibility with any company in the stock market or crypto market? 100%. It's happened before. But have we also seen companies trade for a nickel or $2 like I'm talking about right now and skyrocket into the hundreds and make people millionaires over a course of years? Definitely. There's typically no such thing as overnight success in investing. It normally comes from years of patience and due diligence and research to make that happen. But no matter how old you are right now, if you're sitting here, my age, in my upper 30s or your 40s, 50s, 60s, or maybe you're a teenager listening in, if you were able to flip $2 right now into $25, 5-10 years from now, that's a no-brainer. You're going to be very wealthy if you're able to accomplish that goal. And that's what investing is all about. I love Cardano. I love ADA. There's nothing better to me than good leadership behind companies. Cardano has good leadership. They have phenomenal leadership, not good. Phenomenal leadership. They have real world utility. They have extremely strong partnerships, and they're going to continue to grow. The scalability of Cardano is so good. So that's going to wrap up Cardano. And now we're going to go into our last two tokens. We're going to start off with Chainlink. Chainlink is, Chainlink is super good, right? And we're going to take a look at Chainlink and what they're trading at, which we're going to go ahead and just do that right now. Let me show you what Chainlink is going on here. Chainlink, when you look them up, they trade under LINK. So this is how you find them. Link. $24.55. So this is, for somebody like me, this is a little bit out of my price range. I try to get one here or there when I can. But maybe if you're watching this might be something that you're able to do. And you see down today, they're down 4%. This is just really an incredible time to get invested into a company like this. But let's kind of take a look at their 1 year time frame, right? So we're going to go back a year from now, because again, I'm a long-term investor. 1 year ago, it was $11 on the nose, okay? $11. And now we fast forward to today, $24.61. Let's just say that you would have bought, 100 coins a year ago at $11 a share. Would you really be concerned about all these highs and these lows? You shouldn't be if you believe in the company, because you're going to be one to fast forward again time. 5 years from now, what are they at? 5 years from now, they should easily be over $100 a coin. You're not going to remember the time that it went from $20, to 28, all the way up here to 52, and then down to 16. You shouldn't be stressing over that if you're in it for the long term, because you can look up any successful company that's around today, and for the most part, they're going to have highs and lows just like this. We need to have the patience to just wait, right? Wait. And now, it may be if you bought 100 coins at $11 a piece, and then 2 years from now it goes to $100, that might be a good time for you to sell and just call it a major win, because there's going to be companies that are coming out that aren't even thought of right now that we can reinvest into, that are going to have awesome ideas, just kind of the same way how Amazon came out of nowhere in the e-commerce space. There's always going to be companies that are coming out that we can reinvest in. But for example, Link, okay, at $24 a coin. Let's just do a little research and just type in price prediction of Link. Let's just go 8 years from today, 2030. Price of Link, price prediction I meant. Price prediction. Link 2030. There we go. All right, so now let's just see. Let's see what we can find here. How much will Link be worth in 2025? So right here, this chart, and keep in mind, this is just somebody's opinion. You got to do your own research for people who are actually validated in this field. But they're saying by 2025, look at that, $65 a coin. How incredible would that be? Look at that, 2028, $86 a coin. So we'll just kind of click this link and find more rows. And this kind of just tells you what they do and what they're all about. Let's see if we can find any other price predictions in here. 2022, we already kind of seen that. Chainlink price forecast for 2030. So they expect by the year 2030 that if all goes well, that this coin could be worth $101.62. So, we have to take that with a grain of salt, because you never know when it comes to investing. But let's just play the what if game. What if this is worth that kind of money in that time? If we knew that, we would be buying right now as much as we could, right? As much as we could afford to make sure our livelihood isn't disrupted. But if we could turn $24.62 into $100 8 years from now, again, it would just be about how many can we accumulate between now and then, because we know we're going to be extremely profitable. So Chainlink is awesome. They're also in the smart contract game. I'm not going to go into too much about what Chainlink does. You can do your own research on that, but just know it's something that's on my radar. It's something that I hold a little bit of. I wish I would have bought a lot more a long time ago when it was just much cheaper to get into. But the same thing, if you're looking to invest, if you're looking to build a solid, balanced portfolio in the crypto space, this is one that should be a staple in what you're trying to do. And there are a couple things that I'm leaving out of here, right? Today I'm talking about alternative coins. which is anything in crypto that's not Bitcoin, okay? If you're investing in Bitcoin, which is obviously a great investment, Bitcoin is what drives the crypto industry. But anything that's not Bitcoin is going to be referred to as an altcoin or alternative coin. So if you're looking to build, a good portfolio of alternative coins, I do believe that Chainlink needs to be part of your investment strategy because they are a big player in the game for sure. The last company that I'm going to talk about is going to be Polkadot. Polkadot is, again, it's another one. It's going to be the most expensive one to get into right now, but it trades under DOT, D-O-T. And I do plan on continuing to make videos, specifically focused on what these companies are, what they do in layman's terms, breaking down how they're using the real world today. But for this purpose of this video, I'm just kind of giving you an idea of the charts. And if you're looking to get investing, again, look at this. We look at DOT 1 year ago, $8.79 a token, and just look at the explosive growth that we're going through, and then we're going down a little bit. But even at its low, right? Even 1 year ago when it was $8, even through the volatility, the lowest it got to again was $10.71. So you're still profitable, you're still making money. And now look at this, we are back on the upward trend. There's a lot of hype around Q4 in the crypto industry that there's going to be a lot of explosion. We could have good growth. So when we're taking a look at today, the market's down. That's okay. For long-term future investors, the market down is a good thing because it allows us to buy cheap in the hopes of selling years from now at all-time highs. I hope you found this video helpful. If you don't know where to get started on buying cryptocurrencies, look at my video description below. I did post links to different places you can buy crypto on, and these are good, validated sources. Places like crypto.com, Coinbase, you can do that. Some of these can only be bought on crypto.com, like VET, okay? VeChain can only be bought on crypto.com. All of these that I talked about today can be bought on crypto.com. There's a link below. Everything but Link can also be bought on Coinbase. Now, the thing that I will say is that when people start getting into investing, if it's something that you've never done before, it can be confusing on where to start and how to start. If you would like some one-on-one attention on how to get started, what to do, I can answer questions for you. There is a link to my Patreon down below. Listen, it's $20 a month. That's it. $20 a month, over 30 days. It's just 66 cents a day. You can post questions on a one-on-one chat with me. I can help give you real-time advice on getting things set up. And I will also post my trades in there as well. So when I'm buying, I'll post into my Patreon what I bought, how much I bought it at, and what my ultimate goal and strategy is. Again, keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just all my thoughts and opinions. But look in the description below. If you want some one-on-one, mentorship, you can always be a member of my Patreon. That would be awesome. Please subscribe. Please hit the thumbs up and pass this video along to anybody who you think that will help you out. I want to help people become successful over time, and I think this is a great way to do it. A lot of rich and famous people will tell you they built their wealth not only by businesses and real estate and stuff like that, but they also built it through investing, and this is one small way in which we can get a piece of that pie. Thanks, everybody.